GFL announces that they're going to be doing a Yoel Romero versus Mauricio Shogun Hua light heavyweight contest. Team Miami versus Team Sao Paulo, a former UFC champion in Shogun against a former UFC title contender in Yoel Romero. Also, two former UFC middleweight champions will be going at it. Chris Weidman versus Luke Rockhold, New York versus LA. And that will be announced. The date will be announced at a later date. Steve Garcia says, sorry guys, my fight with Edson Barboza has been canceled. So that was next weekend. I don't know if they can find a replacement on short notice. Macy Chiasson is out of that fight next week against Ketlin Vieira. Chiasson got injured. So yeah, that Seattle card keeps losing fights. But that card added Nursultan Ruzaboa fighting Eric McConaughey Jr. So that's going to be the debut of Eric McConaughey next week. Also on that card, Julius Walker makes his UFC debut against Alonzo Menafield, taking that on short notice. He replaces Umar Sy. I talked to him 2 months ago.
Nickname from my college basketball coach. Funnily enough, he said that at the time I looked like a young O.J. Simpson, so he started calling me Juice. And then beyond that, all my teammates started calling me Juice Box and Juice Bucket and Juice Barrel and all these different things, and Juice Box was kind of the one that I stuck with, and I felt like it was marketable, so that's kind of why I picked it for my MMA nickname.
Sorry to Joaquin Buckley for accepting to fight another brother on Black History Month. I just couldn't say no. Santiago Ponzinibbio taking on Daniel Rodriguez May 3rd at UFC Fight Night Des Moines, Iowa. Ponzinibbio won last month via KO against Carlston Harris, and D-Rod's coming off a decision win over Alex Morono. Cedric Dumas versus Michal Oleksiejczuk, UFC 314 on April 12th. Dumas is coming off a win over Dennis Talulin. Michal Oleksiejczuk had a rough 2024, 3 losses in less than 5 months. He lost to Ashara Bullet, he lost to Kevin Holland via armbar, snapped his arm, and he lost to Michel Pereira.
You know, Michael Pereira, I think the guy's his son. Who? Piano? Yeah, Pereira. Don't think you're going to fix my pronunciation.
Ilia Topuria says he has fight news coming soon. Maybe next week they're going to announce a UFC 314 in Miami, Florida, April 12th is a possibility. They need to announce the main event for that card. Tickets are going to start going on sale. Ilia Topuria didn't say if it's going to be 145 or 155 his next fight, but he is excited about the lightweight fights on the horizon.
Just imagine a fight between me and, I love that dog, Dustin Poirier. He's fighter, you know what I mean? You know that he goes in and he fights till he dies. You're gonna have that guy in front of you fighting and try to take your head off. That's a very exciting fight for me, and I think for the fans also. Islam is a great fight. Charles is a great fight. Justin Gaethje is a great fight. I can mention you so many great fights that I could have in the lightweight division.
Topuria currently sits at number 4 in the pound-for-pound rankings behind Pereira, Jones, and Makhachev. If he fought Makhachev, that'd be for the number 1 pound-for-pound spot. Dustin Poirier indicates that New Orleans is where he'll be fighting next. Ideally for him, a pay-per-view card. Piotr Yan and Aljamain Sterling on the reality show.
Guys, I might gas out. That may be true. But I also might knock this motherfucker out, you know, before I gas out. So that's really what I'm banking on is, 4 minutes of the fight, I'm trying to take his head off. And if I gas out, fuck it. I'm doing it. I'm sending it, bro. This ain't professional or anything. I'm not even running. I'm not even sleeping in the tent to get used to elevation. Shit. I might not even make weight. Let's do it. But I will say, great fight that he had with Israel Adesanya. Much deserving of the inductee into the Hall of Fame or whatever. But my man got dropped 4 times, and he got dropped 4 times by shots that weren't that powerful. So let me catch your chin. I'm going to put you down. So that's all I got to say. That's not all I got to say. I got a lot more to say, but that's all I'm going to say right now.
What's up, you guys? So you already heard it from Dana that the UFC and Monster signed a massive long-term deal. And for me, that's super exciting because
Macy Barber will likely be taking on Erin Blanchfield next. She signed her next fight. Probably Blanchfield. They're right beside each other in rankings and have never fought each other. Justin Gaethje training with Kamaru Usman. Edmund Shabazian is fighting Saturday against Dylan Budka, UFC Fight Night 251. His brother Leon Shabazian is fighting Friday, also in Vegas, at Tough Enough 141. Cannonier's lost 2 in a row. He's going to try and redeem himself Saturday against Gregory Rodriguez. Rodriguez is unranked, but he gets a chance to fight number 7.
Losing is not fun, but, what more can you do? You heal up. I broke my arm in that last fight, so heal up and try to get back to training and getting better and righting those awful wrongs. I wouldn't wish it on nobody, except for my opponent. But it's an unavoidable fact of life, especially for us competitors. So I could do without them, to be honest. But sometimes they're unavoidable, but, it's what you do afterwards. It's how you recover from them and try to make the most out of them. He's a very skilled opponent. He's got those grappling credentials that they always talk about, but we hardly see in his fights, you know what I'm saying, because he'll be out there throwing big, heavy leather. So, yeah, man, another one. Supposed up-and-coming, but he's a very high-level fighter. And aware of some of the unique challenges that he brings and adjusting campus to such to prepare for those unique qualities of his. I think one of the big things that stand out is his ability to take some shots and then respond with big shots of his own,
Paddy Pimblett says Ilia Topuria is a midget and he'd welcome him to 155.
There's buzz around Paddy Pimblett potentially squaring off against Gamrot next, which stems from various discussions and hints dropped by the fighters themselves. Gamrot publicly expressed interest in fighting Pimblett at UFC London, which sparked speculation, especially after Manny Moicano, a teammate of Gamrot at American Top Team, inadvertently mentioned on a podcast that Pimblett's next fight could be against Gamrot, adding credibility to the rumor despite no confirmation from the UFC.
I just got the final version of my song I wrote with Red Farron called Some City Somewhere. It's the title track of his new album coming out February 28th. Make sure you download it. Get it today. It is an absolute banger. It goes a little something like this. Let me know what you think.
Across the globe, making it known in the octagon, I've carved my own throne. Hands that's in the fight, fever he ignite, victory's a goal in this passionate night.
This is a higher peak elevation tent. This tent mimics me fighting or just getting used to and acclimating to the elevation in which I'm going to be fighting at the end of next month, which is March 29th. So next is the higher peak machine. Right here. You just press this button on here and then it obviously transfers the oxygen. Higher peak, check it out. It's definitely something that can be a game changer.